This week's Look at Landscaping with your WSAZ lawn and landscape expert.
Hi, I'm Michael Payne with Brown Landscape Management, here today with my dog Toby Payne, and today I'd like to talk to you about flea and tick. It's that time of the year. The kids and the animals want to be outside having a good time, and today I'd like to give you some information on how you can protect them. A good way to help prevent or reduce the population for fleas actually starts in the winter. Make sure any loose debris, any leaves, anything like that that may pile up over the winter, if you get rid of that, that does not give them a place to try to burrow underneath to retain heat, and by doing so will reduce the population. There's a couple different ways that you can help take care of those. We have a granular form and a liquid form. Me personally, I prefer granular because, like I said, in the wintertime they try to get low in areas that will retain heat. So when you put down a granular, which will need to be wetted in, that soaks into the soil, the debris, any brush there may be, and will help eliminate those ticks. This is the liquid form. You can apply that from a garden hose or a backpack sprayer. The ticks are very smart, so the size of your animal is probably about the height that they will be in your brush in your landscape bed. So if you have a smaller dog, spray heavy lower to the ground. A taller dog, children, anything, you want to try to spray those areas, because with those 8-legged critters, they will actually attach themselves to a plant, hang and dangle and wait for you or your animal to walk by so they can hitch a ride and start the feeding process. I also want to talk to you about a few myths that I've heard or done some research on. Ticks do not fall out of trees. They like to stay low where their prey is. You may have some insects that may fall out of a tree due to wind, any type of weevil, which looks very similar to a tick but will not do the damage, but you do not have to worry about walking under a tree and having a tick fall on your head. Not all ticks carry diseases. Most ticks that do have the disease actually fed on something previously that carried a disease that's transmitted to the tick. If you've noticed that you've had a bite and 5 or 6 days later you may notice a real bad red spot or lump, you may want to get to a doctor and have that checked out. Another thing is, if you've been bit or fed on by a tick, it looks like they have went completely under your skin, and that is not the case. Usually when you are bit by a tick, the skin around that infected area gets puffy and makes it looks like they may be deeper. And during that time, say you were to scratch that tick where you were bit, you may have torn off part of the body, but they actually do not go much deeper than what their mouths can eat once they initially make contact with your skin. What I have today is bifenthrin and permethrin, and those are chemicals usually you don't see at the box store. Luckily enough, with our company, we are licensed to purchase products that may be stronger than what most can purchase. But if you are a do-it-yourselfer, triazicide, which you can find at any of the big box stores, is a great form of insecticide that not only works for flea and ticks, but other insects as well. With that triazicide, they actually make a granular and a liquid. Just make sure to read the label so you put it down properly and don't do any damage. If you do use granular, I highly recommend wetting it in, because as soon as it receives moisture, it starts to activate and help you. And if you have a really bad issue with ticks in the soil and in your shrubs, you may actually want to alternate a granular and a liquid so you're hitting all areas of your lawn. Brown Landscape offers both a granular form and a liquid form. Our granular is a great product and it lasts about 45 days. And then we also have a liquid that we come out and spray, which is not just for fleas and ticks, but it is an all-purpose insecticide that is really good for mosquitoes as well, and it lasts about 30 to 35 days. If you have any questions about what I spoke about today or would like to get signed up for service, feel free to scan this QR code or give us a call at 606-928-0030. And as always, have a great weekend.